Gang, welcome back to the first installment lesson of George Lynch's Paris is Burning intro solo. Really happy to bring this to you. Let's just jump right to it. At the beginning of the tune, we're going to start with an open 5-7 sequence on the A string. So it's I want you to notice something. First thing, I grabbed the E and the D strings like this, just touched them, so that as I trilled, it's less likely to get adjacent string noise. So what you do is you keep that cooking. And you'll create a couple of string swipe noises patiently, kind of a couple seconds apart there. The temptation with this is to rush through it. So try to let it breathe just a little bit. Then we switch to a few blues bends. The first one's kind of a semi-harmonic, but they're all going to be on the D and A strings involving the 5th and 7th frets. So the first bend is on the 7th fret of the D string, and it's that's it. So then we have a full artificial harmonic, and that is very distinctly phrased as and notice I didn't pick anything on the A string. I just hammered out of nowhere. Then we work in another bend, which is a little more kind of kludgy. It's like, so that's just harmonic on the 7th fret with a bend up, partial bend, and instead of an actual vibrato there on the recording, it's more of a, so those bends in sequence would look like this. Regarding that last bend, we tag that with a very quick on the A string, and that's 5-7-5. So kind of paraphrasing this whole thing, it's a and right after this is when the tapping sequence starts. So after we have, we're going to work the tapping like this. It's going to be so that starts off with a tap on the 11th. Remember, the lead-in was the, so we tap 11, and then we pull 7-5. Then we tap 12, pull to 5. So then we tap and slide on 12. So that's, then we have hammer 7, tap 12, then hammer 7, tap 11. So far, that's then we're going to tap 14 on the A string, slide up briefly, pull off to 5, then tap 13 and pull off to 5. So the phrasing at roughly 1/4 speed would look like this. The D string segment of the tapping slowly looks like this. Very weird, very awkward, probably quite spontaneous, very hard to recreate at speed and hit it perfectly. But again, that's tapping the 12th fret, pulling off to open, hammering to 7. Tap 12, pull to 9. Then we have tap 12, pull 7, hammer 9. So that's, then we have tap 12, pull 7, hammer 9, pull off to 7. And then we tap 12 and pull to 9. So that span looks like this at roughly 1/4 speed. Weird, huh? Let's move to the G string. G string is a lot more straightforward. It's going to start off with 1 repetition of, so that's going to be tap 12, pull to 7, hammer to 9. Then we just move the hammer note back to the 8th fret, so it's going to be 12, pull 7, hammer 8. So that's the really creepy one that's kind of featured. We're going to actually make this iteration 6 times. Then something really cool happens. George gets in an actual extra pull off. So that's instead of, it's, and once George does that, he changes the phrase slightly. So it's now for 2 repetitions, tapping 12, pulling to 8, pulling to 7. So we do that one twice. So let's run that whole thing at roughly 1/4 speed. It's going to look like this. And then as we come off of this last one, you're going to get an actual half-step bend and slide back to the 4th fret. That's going to look like this. So let's run that whole string. It's going to look like this. So this is like the most difficult game of Simon Says you're ever going to play. This is what the whole tapping run looks like at maybe a decent speed. It's going to look like this with the lead in. And that'll do it for the tapping.